And let's see here. And it says we're live again, D. Welcome to the curse of Daniel Battelle. I don't know. I don't know if I've made this clear, but every time, what are we at? Andrew will tell you, we're probably about 60% of the time when I stream on TubeBuddy, YouTube just kicks me off the platform. I don't know if we're sharing too much knowledge and if that's offending people, but we're back. We're going to try this again. We're going to see if we can pick up where we left off. D, we were talking about, it was bear talk. There are some things that D told us about bears in that short pause that you, I'm sorry that you missed. It's stuff that will be used against him in a court of law later on. No. We were talking about optimizing. They said some of your mic died out as YouTube slowly kicked us from the platform. They said your mic started dying out when we were talking about optimization. Can you go back again and tell us real quickly about when you optimize videos, what it is when you're optimizing for search, what that is? What does an optimized video for search mean?
I gave this huge.
It was genius. He literally solved humanity. It was like he solved global warming. Could you repeat that one more time, please?
So the main thing for search, and I got to think about what I said before. The main thing for search is that you make videos in a way that people can find while they're searching. What I mean by that is you can also get traffic from Google. Google is a great external traffic source. They also have a carousel. How many times have you been searching for something on Google?
Hey,
and
D, they're saying
videos up there.
D, they're saying that your audio. Can you guys hear D? They're saying there might be a problem with your audio coming through. I want to make sure that you can hear D. I see you talking on my end. I can hear you fine, pal.
Yeah, Creator Break says my audio's back.
We're all good. Can you guys hear D? I'm seeing we're back. Audio's good. Everything seems okay. Okay, D, for the third time. Hey, listen.
You can hear me, then it's good.
This is we should start calling this that things are getting hairy. Because it's me. It's a hair joke.
Yeah.
So listen, everything seems to be running. D, for the third time, because he's practiced twice, will now tell you what optimizing a video for search sounds like. D, go. You've got it nailed in now.
I struggle to do this with a straight face at this point. So when it comes to search traffic and how I optimize my videos, I also optimize for Google. Google's a search engine. And anytime you go to Google and you're looking for something, a lot of times you'll see a video carousel with YouTube videos. So that's one traffic source. But YouTube as a traffic source is also a search engine. So I think about how would a human look for something that's relevant to my channel based on the topic, and what would they actually search for? How can I get that human search to actually connect with my video? First thing I do is I go into the YouTube and Google search bar and I start to type in different variations of the topic that I want to use, and I see that drop down that happens and all of those suggestions. Those are all searches that people are looking for. These are things that people are typing in. How do I do this? How do I find this? Are birds real? Or, whatever crazy stuff you see in the drop down, people are actually looking for that. So I start there and I take one of those suggestions and then I take it over to TubeBuddy and I craft it a little bit more and I optimize my title that way based on how people would actually search for something. Because you need to be mindful of how you use Google, be mindful of how you use YouTube when you're trying to figure something out, right? Everybody's at home right now. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to unclog your toilet, or you're trying to find the best disinfectant because you've run out of whatever disinfectant that you have. How do I mix bleach with this to make a disinfectant? You go to YouTube and you search, how do I do this, right? That's how you were searching for something. So when you're crafting your video title, optimizing for search, keep the human being in mind. Keep in mind that people, not AI, but actual human beings are going to go there. They're going to type in, I'm looking for this. How do I do this? And then that's how you come up with your title. And then for my description, whatever my title is in the first sentence of my description. And it's important that you write this stuff out in a conversational way because you're making this for people, not for the algorithm. And then the additional part of my description will be variations of the title, but I also keep it in a conversational way because I might have words in a different place, or there might be different terminology that people can also be searching for, but it's still relevant to my video. Then when it comes over to tags, title is the first tag, right? Then I use variations of my title other ways that people could be searching, and I add those to my tags to help with clarification. Now that's how I optimize my videos, and it works really well for my channel. But if you're just getting started and you're trying to use search to get the ball rolling, I wouldn't go for very large terms out of the gate. And we've used this example before, and I know, Daniel, you've used this before as well. I don't make videos on should you buy the iPhone 11, because I'm competing with just enormous channels. And yeah, I might be able to siphon some traffic off. I might end up being, recommended next to them. That's possible, but chances are I won't. So instead of saying, should you buy the iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 review, I'm going to go a level deeper on search and say, what are the best editing apps for iPhone? Or how can I make a video with an iPhone? So I go a couple of layers deeper into search, because that's going to help me find an audience, right? Because I can't compete with the larger channels. So I look a little bit under the surface, and I look for an opportunity where I can squeeze in there. And then I optimize everything based on that. So instead of iPhone 11 review, best video editing apps for iPhone. And so when you're starting off, if you go just a little bit under the surface there and you make a bunch of videos like that, a lot, be strategic about it, focus is very important here. Eventually what will happen is all those smaller videos, as time goes on, momentum will start to build. YouTube will start to look at those. If you have a good thumbnail, people are watching those videos, you'll start to get that lift. And that's how you get the momentum rolling on your channel based on search if you're just getting started.
So I got to say,
that's what I do.
The third time you explained that was much better than the first two times. I'm glad you had those practice runs. One of the things that they're saying is in that disconnect somehow, when we're both on screen, they're having trouble hearing your mic. We didn't restart Streamlabs. We just went right again. So maybe there was a glitch when reconnecting. So I'm not putting us both on screen. Dee, feel free to yell and talk. Well, I'm going to go back and forth between the two of us, and hopefully they can hear the both of us, but I'll do it this way. One thing that, I'm hearing some questions in the chat, some people talk about is tags. I want to put 2 seconds in there and talk about tags. Dee did a really great job of explaining, titles and descriptions and how to optimize a video, because it is important to really get that information right into your title. And if you can repeat some of that in the description, it helps support that title. But I see
it's all about clarification. The more data you can give YouTube to help clarify and tell YouTube what your video is about, it helps YouTube put it in front of the right audience. And that's very important. If YouTube doesn't know what audience to put your video in front of, then they're going to be there's a good chance they could place it in front of the wrong audience, which means you're not getting clicks, you're not going to get views. So all the clarification is going to help put it in front of the right audience. And I know what Daniel's going to say with tags next, so go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you. You were on a roll there. I thought you might be talking about bears and sailboats again. I didn't know where it was going. When we talk, I hear a lot of people wonder about tags. I want to make a clear distinction that sometimes those words get mixed up together, because keywords and tags are sometimes used interchangeably. Tags as a function of YouTube in terms of uploading videos is a thing. You actually can add tags to your video, and often those tags can be keywords that you might be using in your video. The thing that I want you guys to make certain of is don't spend a lot of time there. YouTube themselves have come out and said they really only use those tags for spelling checks. They're still there. It's still in as a metadata point, and as long as YouTube allows me to put tags into my YouTube video, I'm going to keep filling that information in. But do not waste your time there. Don't spend an hour trying to find tags.
It's not going to move the needle.
Say that again, Dee?
Tags are not going to move the needle. Tags are not going to be the game changer. You're not growing because you're adding the wrong tags. That's not it. Yeah. I see so many people posting on Facebook or Reddit or Twitter. I'm using all the right tags, but I'm not growing.
That's a huge point.
Yeah.
If you're using the right keywords in your title, that can help you get discovered. If you're targeting the right keywords to make a video about and making videos that your audience is trying to watch, that they want to watch, that can be really important. Where it's not as important is putting them in there thinking, if I put a certain tag here, it's going to get my video surfaced better. It's going to show up on the platform more often. I personally use tags. When I build my videos, I put things that are related to the video in there, but because TubeBuddy allows me to actually see ranking scores next to those tags, I just put in things that I would like my video to rank for in search. And then when I look at my video quickly, I can see if I'm ranking for, 30 different topics at a glance, and if I am ranking, what position. And that's a great way to use tags, just as a data point to go, oh, I know this video is doing really well for this target because I put it in as a tag, and TubeBuddy's telling me, well, usually you've seen the green number next to it. It's ranking number 3 for that target in search. So it's a good way to use it there. But don't spend a lot of time. Tags are just not something that are going to make a huge difference in getting your channel discovered. Focus way more on your target and your title. Make sure those are crafted in a way that really are compelling and get those things discovered. And that's an important word I just used there, because we talk about optimization. Dee just talked about optimization for search, right? Making sure you craft your titles a certain way, make it about the subjects people are interested in finding. Use the keyword explorer to help you really get really dense keyword-rich titles that really target a certain topic. But there are ways to optimize video for discovery in suggested, in browse. And that's a very different thing, because as we talked about earlier, remember, browse is like when people first come to YouTube, they open up the platform and you might have your video up against, who knows, you might be up against Casey Neistat, Dee Nimmin, me, you name it, TubeBuddy if they have a new video out, based on that viewer's search history. But you can optimize to get discovered and win that click in browse simply by making your packaging compelling. And that's a different thing than just putting all the keywords in a certain order, right, at the beginning of your title. Dee, if you were going to talk about compelling, can you give us your take on that?
Yes, but one second, because the whole keyword tag thing, this is something, because you mentioned this briefly and then we moved past it. So many people get those confused, like you were talking about. And I just want even more clarification on that. Because I gave an example of, iPhone 11, iPhone 11 review. Okay. So if I'm targeting a specific keyword, obviously I'm not going to do the iPhone 11 review. I might do best video editing apps for iPhone. So my keywords on that, not my tags, but my keywords would be video editing apps for iPhone. Like that's what I want there. That's what I'm going for with the keyword. When someone searches for that, that's what I want to be found for. Then when I come to the tags, I might add variation to that. I might add iPhone. I might add video editing apps for iPhone. I might add free video editing apps. I might add iOS video editing apps, iPad, iPhone video editing apps. I'm going to do different versions just to help add some clarity to that. So I just wanted to make to show the difference between actual keywords versus what you would put in the tags.
Yeah, and sometimes
some people confuse that.
A tag could be a keyword. You can have tags that are designed around keywords. But yeah, they're very different things in how you use them. But being discovered, because a lot of times I think that's a thing, Dee, where people get really wrapped up in, you said this earlier, where people will make these very disjointed titles because they think they need to use the words that research showed them, like iPhone 11 app new feature, hyphen, new iPhone features / and they get these weird sentences in their titles that you go, if you walked into the Apple store and walked up to one of the guys trying to sell you stuff and went, Apple iPhone features new apps, best apps, Apple iPhone, they'd look at you like, I'm sorry, do I need to call a paramedic? Are you okay?
Are you having a stroke? Right. Right.
Because the reality is that that's not how people speak. You can craft titles that are optimized for keywords and still figure out ways to make them compelling and natural and rework them. That's the next layer of optimization and really figuring out how to do that. Because if your video shows up on browse, which is someone just comes to the platform, they're not using YouTube as a search engine. They open up YouTube. Here's a bunch of videos put in front of them, recommended based on their recent watch history, stuff that's trending well, things they know about that viewer, and things that they think that are slightly different. Give them a variation. Try to change it up. The one thing that YouTube has said is that YouTube always tries to bring in new content and different, fresh content and keep it diverse. Because if you love watching the bear video that Dee was talking about, right? Just you got served a lot more bear videos, but he didn't get served nothing but bear videos, right? He might have got served more of that, but there's other stuff around it because YouTube has said, we discovered when we just super serve the viewer the same thing over and over. If you're the crazy cat lady, you love cats, but all you get is cat videos, they found these viewers actually watched less on the platform. There was less watch time than if they gave them some of the thing they liked, but then showed them a diversity of different content, including fresh content. They found that people like new videos, fresh content. So there's all these ways that you can actually, as a new channel, get out there and leverage that thing. In browse, make sure you build a title that's compelling as well as being keyword rich. Dee, give us an idea of what compelling might be.
Yeah, we got sidetracked there. So again, using my iPhone as an example, a compelling title, something that I might put on my channel if I did videos about that, I might say, don't buy the iPhone 11 Pro. The thumbnail is just, like, oh, don't buy it, right? Or I might say, I caught my iPhone 11 on fire. This happened, right?
While chasing a bear.
Yeah. Or the bear video, right? Bear sits next to man while camping, right? It's titles and thumbnails, compelling things that make you want to click. Like, I'm compelled to click on that title. I'm compelled to click on that thumbnail. Mr. Beast is probably one of the best people on the platform to use compelling titles and thumbnails.
I don't disagree. I've said this a lot of times that Mr. Beast, if you looked at his videos, his channel, the videos get 12 million, 15, 20, 24 million views on a video.
Last hand off the car wins the car.
Right. And how many times has someone gone into YouTube and gone, let me use the search engine. I'd really like to see last person to take their hand off the boat wins it. That's probably something that people search every day, right, Dee?
Last hand off the bear. Right.
Last hand on the bear loses the hand. I think is the way that goes.
The hand, yeah.
So, but that's what Dee's talking about. Being compelling is sometimes being able to create packaging. So when you really want to optimize a video so that it wins the click, it's not always about search. Don't get so wrapped up in, I got to get the right keyword stuffed in the title, and then maybe I'm going to take my title and stuff it up into the thumbnail, and it's just words. These are human beings that you're trying to reach. They don't spend a lot of time reading the entire title or trying to read every line of text in your thumbnail. They move on impulse. And if you connect with them immediately in places like suggested and browse, your video happens to go past their field of vision and they go, whoa, wait, that caught my eye. What is that? Bear sits next to man. Right? It's only a handful of words.
Boom.
And maybe there's a picture of that bear sitting next to the man, right? Like Dee said, talking about the bear. There's a picture of a bear in the thumbnail sitting next to this guy fishing by a stream. It's like a huge grizzly.
You know the
bear.
video. You know it. You know it.
I may have watched that one. I didn't watch. I did watch the sailing video though, Dee. So I have to,
because I didn't mention sitting by the stream. That's how I know that you know it.
I've seen it, but it is, but it's so compelling because you see it and you go, oh my gosh, I need to see what happens here, because the packaging is not something that no one goes into search that I know of. Maybe D might, then types in bear sits next to man by stream, or on into the search engine. Right. It's something that comes across their recommended stream, their feed somewhere in browse, somewhere as an up next, somewhere as a suggested video, and someone goes, whoa, that I got to see this. Is that really a bear just came and sat by that guy? That's how you optimize for places like browse. Really, that really just catches them and they go, oh man, I need to watch this. I need to watch this more than maybe you're on the browse homepage. People come to YouTube and they've got more news about coronavirus. Here's the president talking about coronavirus. Here's NBC talking about coronavirus. Here's Fox News talking about coronavirus. And there's your video going, a bear sat down next to me when I was fishing the other day.
Click.
What happens then, Dee?
Right. I'm clicking. I'm clicking and I'm watching. I'm watching to the end.
And that's how you can actually optimize for more than search, because you have to understand the viewer. We came full circle. When it comes down to understanding YouTube, all you have to understand is that YouTube itself is trying to understand the viewer. So while you're trying to figure out YouTube, YouTube is going, look, I'm just trying to figure out the viewer. So if you can work towards sort of, side skirting YouTube and going right for the same target they are, which is understanding the viewer, you'll be in a much better position to have your content surface and get connected. Those videos placed with the viewers they know a lot about. Right? Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. And I just want to talk about understanding the viewer. That's not an easy thing. Like, this is where trial and error and testing, you're not just going to sit down and automatically just write these winning titles and make these winning thumbnails and make this winning video. I mean, this is something that takes time. You have to hone your craft. You have to test different thumbnails out. You have to know who you're trying to reach in the first place. Then you have to start packaging your content in a way that's going to appeal to the person that you're trying to reach. And testing, testing, testing. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but that's part of the process.
100%. Hey, some of the people in chat are asking, hey, do we get to ask some questions? If you have any questions, we're not doing a questionnaire here. We're not doing that kind of thing. But if you have a question, feel free to shout it out in chat. We'll make sure that we'll try to catch anything that you guys want to talk about too. Some of this stuff is kind of deep. I will say, some of these ideas, we try to simplify it. Dee and I come from a place where we try to take YouTube and simplify it for you in a way so that you can look at it and go, oh, okay, all right, I get it. I'm so focused on the analytics that maybe I should just be really focused on connecting with that viewer, right?
What is it that they say, Daniel? Analysis paralysis?
Oh, that's a huge one.
So many people get caught up. Oh my God, tags and keywords, and how many characters should I have in my description? How many links should I put in there? Make videos for people. I know that sounds is overly simple, but make videos that people want to watch. Don't overthink it, because you can overthink it. You can overthink it to the point that you don't want to do it. You can overthink it to the point to where it overwhelms you and it becomes frustrating. And then you start doing things in the opposite way, because YouTube is trying to find videos for viewers. So make your videos for viewers, and YouTube will help connect that. YouTube will help your video get there.
So Dee, we have a couple of questions here from the chat. Let me ask you this. This is a great one for you. There was a question from, Schwerspielen macht Spaß, a nice German channel. How do I know if I should upload daily? It's a gaming channel. He wants to try to understand how would you know what the frequency of uploads for your channel is the correct one?
I don't believe in brute force uploading for the sake of uploading. And I know that's something a lot of gamers do. Just brute force every single day. Upload, 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 upload. And if that's working for you and that method is growing your channel, then keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. But I would approach it by looking at the data and by looking at how people actually respond to it. Like, if I upload every day versus if Daniel uploads every day versus if you upload every day, we might get different results because we have a different audience, right? So the first thing I would do is I would upload as much as you wanted to upload. Then I would look and see what's going on. Are people responding to what I'm making or not? If they're not responding to 7 videos a week, then you're just wasting your time. But if you sat down and said, okay, what if I make 1 or 2 really, really good videos per week? And I edited them very well, and it was really entertaining, and I put a lot of extra time into that 1 or 2 videos per week, and people responded to those, you're going to get a lot further than if you were brute force uploading 7 days a week. And daily uploads, that's a grind.
Yeah. One of the other questions.
But yeah, I would test it. I would test it.
Yeah, testing. You have to understand that what it comes down to is audience response. The thing that will answer most of these questions for you is if you try something and you start seeing that the videos do well on your channel, then you know that the audience is responding to an increased schedule. It's as simple as that. Sometimes people think, oh, I have to upload twice a day because suddenly I'll get recommended more. It isn't. It does come back to that very basic thing. Is the audience responding to your content? If you put up videos every single day that nobody's watching because they're not interested, it won't matter how many videos you publish. But if when you publish, people do watch your videos and you start increasing the frequency, absolutely that viewer reaction, the traffic data that YouTube gets will let you know, absolutely increase your upload schedule. I agree with Dee 100%. Another question we have here from Pixelpia D is, do you suggest making videos in a series or any specific length of the titles? What do you think about series and titling and things like that?
I'm all for it, because what we talked about earlier, getting people to watch one video and then getting them to watch another video or possibly even another video. If you can make videos in a series, then you link them all together using all the tools we have at our disposal. We have end screens, we have cards, we have pinned comments, we have links in the description, right? We have all of these different tools that YouTube gives us to link out to these other videos. So when you're making a series, it keeps that content relevant. And it works especially well if it's in a series that's a gradual series. So this is part 1. It makes sense to hand them off to the next part so they can continue learning or continue to be entertained. That's a carryover from the first one. So I like to think of it as like, swinging from vine to vine, right? Like back in my Tarzan days,
We've gone from bears to apes, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, here's the thing, Daniel. I stay in the trees to avoid the bears. That's the thing.
Well, listen, that's a really important thing is understanding. Dee's telling you that, listen, it's more about, it's not just about one video on your channel. You're building something. You're building a catalog. You're building a channel. It's not one video. It's not two videos. It's how your audience interacts with the entire scope of the library, the catalog of the of the content that I almost said music. I came from an old school music background. The catalog of content that you're putting on your channel that people will love or not love.
I would say this. Everybody in the chat right now, ask yourself this one question. What do you want to be known for on the platform? What do you want to be known for on the platform?
Bears.
And then when you're making your content choices, ask yourself, does this piece of content work hand in hand with what I want to be known for? Does this fit with what I want to be known for? And if the answer is yes, make that piece of content and keep going, because then what's going to happen is, speaking of catalogs, you not only have a series of videos then, but you have an entire channel of content where people are going to be interested in your content.
One of the questions that came through chat is, what is an impression? What's an impression click-through rate? And what's an average one? Listen, impressions is just how much YouTube is surfacing your videos across the platform in different ways. Your video showing up in search is considered an impression. Your video showing up in browse is considered as an impression. Your video showing up in suggested next to another video is considered an impression. It's when YouTube intentionally puts your video in front of viewers and it counts, like we did it here. Did they click? Did they not click? That fact that how many times they put it up is the impression. Now, based on
how many eyeballs saw that thumbnail?
Right, exactly. Who saw it? Who did it get put in front of? Now, the click-through rate, the impressions click-through rate is, once it was put there, what percentage of those people stopped and actually clicked on it and decided to watch? These are important factors. Average on the platform is it's an average, but it's between 2 and 10%. It doesn't mean a whole lot. I've seen channels that get...
Because impressions matter there, right?
Right. You just say that again, Dee?
Impressions matter. I see a lot of people... You see this a lot on Facebook. People start to talk about, hey, what's your impressions click-through rate? And somebody will post a screenshot of their data, and it will be like, 15% or 20%. And you're like, wow, that's really good. And they've got like 12 views, 12 impressions, right? It's like, that's not a good indication.
Right. The idea here is we're trying to get your content put in front of a lot of people and then get a certain amount to click. YouTube understands this. When your video starts growing on the platform, if your video gets put in front of a lot more people, it automatically you'll get a lower click-through rate, because there's just more people that it's not going to be a good fit for. So I never get wrapped up in the specific numbers, because they all work together. Like Dee said, you have to understand, someone like Mr. Beast, who gets billions of impressions, might get a 4.3, 4.7 click-through rate, where someone else goes, well, I get a much better click-through rate than him. No, you don't. I mean, you physically might as a number, but unless you're driving 24 million views, his content's performing better than yours. And you have to look at things with the proper perspective. Understand what that means, right? If you're the fastest person in the race, but there's only 2 of you there and the other guy has a broken leg, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. You have to look at the entire data set and understand perspective of how that CTR is performing based on how many people it's being put in front of, and if a lot of people are choosing to click over time, right?
To come full circle on this, early on, we talked about, YouTube doesn't find viewers for your video, they find videos for viewers, and you start to surface based on, when you first publish, it surfaces your video just a little bit to see what the initial reaction is from people. Looking at your impressions is a great way of knowing, okay, I made this video, come back in 48 hours and see how many impressions are there. That's how many times YouTube put that in front of people. So that even if it's a small number, that it matters. That tiny number matters. So if it's not growing, those people weren't that interested in, maybe they clicked on the thumbnail, but maybe you blew it on the video. And it's easy to do that. I mess up videos all the time. I say the wrong word. I show the wrong image. I don't phrase things correctly. They stop watching.
I have that.
We all make that mistake.
I make that mistake a lot. And that's why we're always learning to listen to your channel and seeing what connects is a huge part of it. I have another question here from Danny Hatcher in the chat who asked,
hey, Danny.
Do you split your video targets between search and browse specific, or do you focus on one? I'll give you my answer. I'll let Dee answer too. For me, I think about how to create something that's keyword rich and also compelling at the same time. I think one of the best strategies that you can use, Danny, is if you can start thinking about how to make a title that is not only optimized for search, that has strong keywords in it that might get it surfaced as a search target, but also when it's presented to someone that they go, oh, I want to see that. Like Dee was talking about, best new apps for the iPhone 11 that you need to have. That sets up a paradigm of what are the apps? I have to click. I have to click.
Right.
I need to click the
best
video.
iPhone 11 Pro apps you don't know about.
Boom. See? So what Dee did there is he set up a conversation where the packaging compels you to click to find the answer. So it's compelling, but someone might actually type into search best new apps for the iPhone 11, right? And then that would get surfaced that way. So knowing how to create targets that have the widest chance of being discovered across multiple traffic sources is really key, Doing it all. Try to make sure that you do something, like Dee said earlier, is humanized for the viewer, that someone can read and digest and go, I don't need to find this in search to go, I want to click that because it's interesting to me. But also, if it is found in search because it's got iPhone 11 new apps or best new apps, or best pro apps, or whatever Dee might target, those are the things it'll make it start getting discovered in different areas. My channel right now is almost a 30-30-30 split. I get about 27% of my traffic from search. I get about 26 or so from suggested. I get about 28 or so from browse, and the rest is all that extraneous, external, you name it, channel pages. And I really
WhatsApp groups.
What's that?
Everybody gets traffic from WhatsApp groups. You ever see that in there from WhatsApp? Like.
DuckDuckGo. Do you have that?
Yeah.
DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
But that's it, Danny. If you can do more than one thing, if you can think about things in a much larger sense about, think about the viewer. How is the viewer going to get exposed to this video, and have something that works in different scenarios all at once? That can be super powerful. That can be really powerful, because then this video is going to perform and not use just search as a crutch and not expect just to win the click out of the gate. So if you launch a video and maybe it just doesn't quite connect out of the gate, but it's really a great video that you've optimized for search, maybe like the video I showed you a bit back. Let me pull another share screen up over here. Dee, I got your face up here. Sorry, buddy. Here is a video I did. Look at this data. You may not be able to hear Dee in this screen. We'll see how this works out. But this was a video that did really well over time. It was really doing well for all the traffic sources, but the interest took off in Filmora. And if you see at the end, recently it just started surging. It went from another video that was anywhere from 600 to 900 views on any given day, on any given week, and it's back way up over 2,000 views because it became important on the platform recently for people wanting to know more about Filmora. So another one of my Filmora videos started doing really well because it was positioned for all three. If you happen to be searching for this particular target, I think this was an intro effects in Filmora. If you want to learn how to make cool intros in Filmora, that's your video. But if you happen to be watching some other Filmora video and you saw how to make cool intros in Filmora, it was optimized so that it would look good in suggested or in browse, that someone who came to the platform would go, oh, wait, yeah, I want to know that. I wasn't searching for that, but I'd like to know that. Dee, do you have any videos like that do that kind of thing?
Yeah, I do. But in terms of my strategy, because I know you're going to ask me about how I handle that, I build the majority of my videos for search because I do how-to content, right? It's all tutorial based, and I build a lot for that, unless it's something timing release. And I can't stress the importance of having the right topic at the right time. Like if you want to see a video explode, if you can nail a topic at the right time where that topic is relevant and people are looking for that topic, you can definitely just get a huge video out of that. So anytime like let's use iPhone again as an example. Anytime iPhone releases a new iPhone, I ramp up my iPhone videos. I start adding more iOS videos because they're looking for the iPhone. But what happens is because I'm making those iPhone videos, those videos will start to get tangled up in that. And yes, that's a strategy that I do. And of course, dark mode. As soon as dark mode comes out, if I'm anywhere near my phone and I can make that video as quickly as possible, I try to be one of the first people to have my video up. And 8 out of 10 times, those videos will be huge.
Yeah, dark mode is one of those things that usually. But even have you ever done a dark mode video that didn't explode out of the gate? Because this is another thing. Everyone thinks that this is cookie cutter and predictable. I've had ones where I usually know where they're going to go, but I had ones that have just tanked. It just was the wrong time or the wrong target. Even though other ones had done well on my channel, I always say views aren't guaranteed. Have you ever had a dark mode one that you went, oh, didn't do it?
Yes, but it was because of the audience. So if I'm explaining, or if I have a video on, dark mode on Instant Messenger or dark mode on YouTube as targeting the viewers, the audience is enormous on that because everybody's using Messenger, everybody's using YouTube. But I have a dark mode on the YT Studio app. Well, that just shrunk my audience down because that's only for YouTube creators and only for people who use the YT Studio app. So my audience pool just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. I didn't expect that to do well out of the gate, but it actually did a lot worse than I thought it would do. So it happens. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it's not guaranteed, right? Yeah, she dropped something over here. I think she dropped that. For those of you who don't know, that was the sound of an iPhone 11 Pro dropping on a hard tile floor. I hope that didn't break. Compelling title right there. Repair your cracked screen. Yeah, right. Yes.